Since ancient times, humanity has carefully studied the movements of the sun. The astronomical knowledge, reached by different populations of the past, are absolutely remarkable. The ancient Greeks knew that by observing the position of the sun, every day at the same time, from a fixed location on Earth, it was possible to trace an H-shaped diagram in the sky, which was always repeated exactly the same every year. The Arcana lemma. They discovered that solstices took place when the sun was located at the ends of the Arcana lemma. During the equinoxes, the sun could be found in the middle of the ascending or descending paths. They knew that, though stars can't be seen during the day, they do not cease to exist behind the blue curtain created by the sunlight. The patient and daily observation of the sky, just before dawn, led to the discovery of the sun motion along the ecliptic, and to the identification of the 12 zodiac signs. Ancient astronomers started to measure the sun motion along the zodiac as accurately as possible. Initially, they thought that this motion always repeated the same, year after year. But when they compared measurements made in different ages, they noticed something unexpected. The equinoctial and solstice points are not immobile, but are subject to a very slow motion. Year after year, they move along the ecliptic, imperceptibly. Today, we know that over the centuries, the Earth's axis changes its orientation, drawing, on the top of the celestial sphere, a circumference that is covered in about 26,000 years. Hipparchus of Nicaea documented this phenomenon, known as precession of the equinoxes, in the 2nd century BC. But it is very likely that pre-existing culture knew it. To ancient civilizations, the Earth always appeared fixed and immobile. The sun was in some way related to the immobility of the Earth, as its Arcana lemma always appeared equal to itself as years went by. Due to precession, constellations and single stars behaved differently from the sun. They were subject to a very slow rotation motion that apparently interested the whole celestial sphere. To their eyes, the sun was the only object remaining still throughout the centuries, while the entire sky slowly rotated behind it. In order to measure the entity of this rotation, they shared the ecliptic in 12 equal portions, and gave each the name of a zodiacal sign. The section that gave its name to the current age was the one that housed the vernal point. That is, the point where the sun is located during the spring equinox. Some cultures started considering the sun as a life form, provided with divine qualities. Unlike humans, the sun experienced every stage of life every year. Child in spring, adult in summer, and elderly in autumn. The sun returned to be infant every winter solstice, without experiencing death. The Feast of the Unconquered Sun, celebrated on December 25th, marked the beginning of the new life cycle. The summer solstice, however, was the day of glory, when the sun showed itself in all its magnificence. In a contest where outer and material universe was the mirror of the inner and spiritual one, the sun reflected the inner light of consciousness. For this reason, its life, marked by days and years, became the reference to measure the evolution of life on Earth. The solar day lasted as long as the Earth year. The solar year instead had a duration of 360 Earth years. Therefore, each astrological age lasting 2,160 Earth years, was composed of 6 solar years. Being able to experience all ages during a single day, the sun never raged, but it only grew in grace and consciousness. For these reasons, storytellers referred about his coexisting lives: as a kid, as an adult, as an elder, and newly as an infant. The progression of the vernal point along the zodiac inspired the story of his early life. At the same time, the sun lived a life as an adult, described by the progression of the summer solstice point. The mirror between spirit and matter, between inner and outer universes, makes Jesus and the sun, having several points in common, hidden by the gospel symbology. In the next chapters, we will go throughout these wonderful symbols, until we will be able to see the celestial nativity.